Hi Virgo, this is Joanna from Tarot with Joanna, here to do another reading. Hello, hello, hello. So in today's reading, I'm going to give you two of the Denise Lynn Oracle cards, going to do your reading and then clarify it. So let us get started. All right, so Virgo, see what's going on in your reading. All right, Virgo. Two cards for Virgo for their highest good. This is going to be for Virgo. One more card. Nice. You know, you got this last time, the simplifying your life. It's crazy. All right, so here we go. It says you have regenerating rain. Clear the past, heal the present. So when I get this card for you guys is that you need to really live in the moment and just forget about the past. Let the regret, the past, everything that was going on in your life, just let it go. It's time to just live in the moment, to stop, thinking about it, doing what, thinking about this, thinking about that. I know it gets to you. I know it gets to you. But the thing is that you need to try to let it go, okay? Because, you're going through a lot. There's this healing, maybe you're thinking about it a lot, but sometimes it's good to just really be in the moment for times, okay? That means to really listen to more vibrational music, good music that makes you happy and not sad, taking walks for yourself, being alone, and just really just letting go of everything, being outside, getting some of that sun, whatever it is that you need to do, but clear your mind, okay? Live in the moment, you guys. Live in the moment. And then it says traveling lightly, simplify your life. Yes, definitely. Don't make things so hard for yourself, set boundaries, say no when you have to, let other people help you. Don't just go and try to do everything yourself, Virgo. You do so much as it is. So try to really let other people help you, or just not really do everything yourself, okay? So, wow. All right, so Virgo, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Virgo. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. One for the current, one for the situation, one for the past, for the what you need, for the what's hidden, wow, for the hopes and fears, what you need to do now, what you need to work on, and the outcome. Wow. Okay. All right, so Virgo, so you have the nine. You start off with the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is about, being in your mind all the time, having anxiety, not able to sleep. Maybe you're just despair. You're going through a lot. And you're just worried about everything and everybody. You have the King of Wands for the situation. I feel like you need to be the leader that you are. I feel like you need to take control of everything that's going on in your life. I feel like you're very like you're trying to do everything for everybody, and you're constantly thinking about everything, but it's like you're doing things too fast, not to rush and take your time to do things. I feel like just be the leader that you are. We'll see what the cards say when this comes out, okay? Because this is a King of Wands, and the King of Wands is usually pretty good. He's like an entrepreneur, so let's see what the other cards say. Wow, you have a lot of kings here also. Okay, so you also have the King of Cups here. The King of Cups is talking about you know how to handle things. You know how to keep your things in balance. People come to you because you have a good good sense of humor. You know how to talk to people. They just come to you because you're just a joy to be with. You listen to them, you're very supportive, but you know how to handle everything that's going on in your life. And whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. Tarot has no gender, so just remember that. You do have the Five of Wands here for the what's hidden. The Five of Wands is talking about, maybe you feel angry. Maybe there's been disagreements in your life, or a lot of frustration, tension, anxiety. We'll see why it's there. You have the Temperance card for the hopes and fears. The Temperance card is talking about being balanced, having everything balanced, having patience for everything, really, really being calm. You are definitely on the right path, and you're trying to find a purpose. Like, there is something in you that's trying to find something. Like, what is my purpose here? Why am I going through this? It's like you're asking yourself a lot of questions. With the Knight of Swords here, in the what you need to do now, you're very ambitious. They want you to be very ambitious. You're very driven. You want to succeed in everything. You want everything. You're also a fast thinker, and they're asking you to not do things on impulse, like not to rush into everything, okay? Because you are very ambitious, but you just want you to take your time to do things, especially decisions. You have the Knight of Wands here, Virgo. You're gonna, they want you to have a zest for life. They want you to be bold and be adventurous, take a chance on things, maybe try something different. But I do feel also too that there is a lot of change coming in for you, because things are going to change. You do have the Seven of Pentacles here. Seven of Pentacles is talking about that you're reviewing everything. You're looking at everything again, stepping back and seeing how everything is playing out. Just looking at everything, connecting the dots, I feel like you're trying to figure out what you're going to do next. Wow. Interesting. All right, so Virgo, let's see what's going on. I also feel like there's some kind of material success here. Take what resonates with you, Virgo, and leave the rest. This is going to be for Virgo spirit for their highest good. The Nine of Swords. Why is the Nine of Swords here for Virgo? One more card. Okay. So you do have the Death card. You do have the Death card here. And you have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands and the Death card together is saying that, you're in your mind a lot because you're going through this big transformation. The devil, you see him here, he's like looking, he's not a scary, death card, right? He's not scary, but he's changing. Things are going to change for you. You may not see it, but there is going to be a lot of change. And if you've been feeling it, it's coming in, okay? Definitely going through a transformation. You're not thinking the same way you used to. You're changing in you, within you, and you're changing things on the outside. And you're going to see it very soon. If you haven't, you're going to see it very soon. But they want you to leave this behind. This Nine of Swords, the anxiety, the frustration. They want you to leave it behind. Try to have patience for things, okay? Because you have the Two of Wands also. And they're asking you to have patience. You're going to make decisions. You're going to be making a decision very soon. Really have patience for it. I feel like you're trying to make plans for something different. I feel like you just need to have patience. I feel like there is, and you're just looking at everything right now and trying to decide on something. You're contemplating a decision. You have the King of Wands for the situation. One more card. Wow. All right, so you do have the King of Wands and the King of Swords. Wow. Okay, so you have the Seven of Pentacles also. Like I said, the King of Wands, he's about, he's finding the courage to move forward. You definitely are. You've been through a lot, Virgo. You're going through a lot, you've been through a lot, and you need to move forward, okay? Try to handle all the situations that are going on in your life. Anything that you haven't been dealing with, it's time to start dealing with it, okay? Because it's moving you in that direction. That's why you're going through this transformation, because you have to start dealing with everything that you didn't deal with before, you know, how you're feeling, how you did things. You know, you're going through this big, huge transformation. I mean, things are going to change a lot. And you're looking at everything. You're looking at everything, reviewing everything, you know, how you're using your money, what your next step is, what your plans are. You know, you're just looking at everything again. You're reviewing everything. And you're trying to decide. You also have the King of Swords here. The King of Swords is talking about, sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. My throat's like, woo. Okay. So with the King of Swords, they want you to be really focused on things, you know, stand in your power. You're very, you know, Virgo, you're very courageous. You know, you take chances on a lot of things, and it's always led you on good things, okay? But they want you to stand in your power. They want you to, you know, speak your mind and speak the truth about what you're feeling and what you're thinking, okay? And you need to, because, you know, nothing is going to change or go the right way unless you start speaking your mind and start saying what you need to say. They want you to start taking control of situations, okay? Because you're already in this mode where you want to change things, and they want you to start speaking your truth. You have the King of Cups here. The King of Cups is talking about being emotionally balanced. You know how to handle yourself. You know how to feel things, but you also are in very control of how you're feeling. Keep everything balanced, okay? Don't go and get pissed off at somebody because, you know, your day's not going good. You know, don't, or, you know, you're going through the drive-through and you have to repeat yourself twice. You know, don't get angry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, really have control of your emotions, okay? You have the Five of Wands here for the what's hidden. Why is the Five of Wands here? One more card. Good. Oh, wow. So with the Five of Wands here, you start off, you know, you're very, you still have that anxiety, that anger within you, okay? So really pay attention to that, you know, the frustration. You know, you're deep down, you're just really angry. There could have been some kind of disagreement. There could have been just a lot of frustration around you. But you also have you have the Five of Cups, and with this and this right here, that just shows me that you have a regret. There's a lot of regret here. There's a disappointment. There's a, you know, feeling down, depressed, whatever it is, you know, and you need to really leave that behind, okay? Because you also have the Six of Swords. They're asking you, leave it behind. Why do you hold on to all this regret? You know, let it go. You know, let everything, what you're feeling, how you're, you know, it doesn't make any sense to hold it on to it, because this is in the past, okay? The frustration, the anger, it's in the past. Let it go, okay? As much as I know it's hard, you know, it's easy to say it, but it's hard to do. But they're telling you, let it go, okay? Because there's a lot of opportunities that you've been missing, and you're not really seeing things, okay? So really try to let that regret go, because you know what? We've all made our mistakes in life. We can't turn back time. It happens. Things have gotten done. We got to move forward, okay? So just keep pushing forward, because there is something there. You are just focusing on what happened, the downfall of it, but you need to know that there are opportunities coming towards you. There are things coming, good things coming towards you also. And then you have the Six of Swords here, and the Six of Swords is talking about that, you know, there is going to be good things coming through. You know, better times are coming. You're moving forward. You're going to start, you know, you're going to be on a new path. Things are going to start getting better, you know. So just be ready, because, you know, you don't want to deal with all this anymore. You want to just move forward, and that's good. You have the Temperance card, and the Temperance, why is the Temperance card here? One more card. Whew. So you have the Knight of Swords, and you have the Temperance card with the Six of Cups. So, you know, you're going through this big transitioning phase in your life, okay? So just know that you're going through a transformation, you know, rebirth, whatever you want to call it. Things are changing for you. But you also have the Temperance card down here. The Six of Cups is about healing. You know, you're thinking about the past and everything that's had been going on, and you're connecting all the dots. It's like you're seeing the truth. You're finally seeing everything for what it was. They're telling you that you need to keep everything balanced, have patience for everything, just have peace in yourself, in your mind also. I feel like you are definitely on the right path. I feel like you're being very nostalgic right now, but I feel like it's okay to visit the past, but to leave the past, okay? Don't stay there. Leave it. I also feel like you're going to go through a healing. So a lot of these old memories are going to come up, and it's going to make you feel sad. It's going to make you feel you're going to just have to go through it because it's just the way it is. You're going through this healing. When we go through transformations, we go through a healing. But with the Knight of Swords here, they want you to see the truth in everything. Start speaking your truth, you guys. There's a big thing here about seeing the truth and speaking your truth. And right now, they want you to start speaking your truth. Speak about it. What is the truth? Stop kidding yourself. Be honest with yourself and start speaking the truth. They want you to see the truth in things. They want you to see the truth before you speak the truth. Before you speak, okay? Like, don't go and take somebody's word, like gossip. Don't take somebody's word for it. If that person has not told you what that other person has said, then it's not true, okay? If it doesn't come from the mouth that they're talking about people that they're talking about, don't believe it. Really see the truth before you start speaking out or telling anybody or, implying something. Really see the truth, okay, is what they're saying. I feel like you're going to communicate better. I feel like you're going to have clarity. I feel like you're going to have breakthroughs coming through also. I feel like there's going to be opportunities around you. And I feel like you're going to start feeling better soon. And then you have the Nine of Swords. Why is the Nine of Swords here? One more card. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, and the Hangman. Okay, so you do have the Knight of Swords here. You're very ambitious. You work very hard for everything. You have been working very hard. Everything that you do, it's going to pay off. The material success is going to come in. I feel like you're waiting for something. There could be a new job here, a promotion, a new contract. There's something here that's new with the Eight of Pentacles. And it has to do with your career, okay? And I feel like you're definitely waiting for some kind of answer. Remember not to... I feel like you don't rush into anything yet. Okay, don't rush into anything. Really take your time about all these decisions because you work very hard for your money. You're making all this effort, but you need to have patience, okay, because that's what it's here. That's what they're telling you. Don't rush into anything and don't jump into anything yet. You have the Knight of Wands. Why is the Knight of Wands here? My card. So you did start off with the Knight of Wands here, and I feel like there is a lot of change coming through for you. There is still a lot of change, but you're ready for it. You're very energetic. You're fearless. But like I said, don't do things on an impulse, okay? Because right now you're feeling very. You still have that anger. You still have that frustration, and right now you could be like not seeing things clearly. Okay, so you really need to be careful with that. Like, don't do things in an impulse here. And also, too, you have the Nine of Cups. They want you to have gratitude for everything, big and small. Have gratitude for the littlest things, okay? Be thankful. Give it a shout out to God or whoever you pray to. Thank you, Lord, for letting me wake up today. Thank you, Lord, for, whatever, the food on my table, the family that I have, be grateful for things because gratitude goes a long way. And be content with what you have. A lot of us are not content with what we have, and we want more and more. And it's good to want more. It is good, but you still need to be content with what you have. Okay. So just know that I do feel like there's some kind of blessing trying to come in for you, but you still need to leave this Five of Swords, this frustration, this regret behind. Okay. And you really need to start speaking your truth. You have the Seven of Pentacles here. And why is the Seven of Pentacles here? One more card. Wow. You're definitely moving forward. That's for sure. So like I said, you're reviewing everything in your life. From your finances to your home, to your life, to your significant other, to your family, to your work, everything. You're just looking at everything over. And that's what you're going through, that transformation. You want to know, you're making plans to go somewhere. Not making plans like in general, like to go to the store or anything like that. But you're you want to make plans to do something else, and it shows here. And it's nice. It's really nice, because you are really leading the way, Virgo. But with the Three of Wands, you're ready to move forward. You're going to be preparing, planning, something good. So you already know what you want, but you still have to make that decision very soon, okay? And it's going to come in, but you just need to really be careful on how you're doing it. Like, don't rush into it. Really do your research and be objective about everything, okay? I do feel like there is some kind of partnership here. I feel like there's achievements here also. I feel like you're going to collaborate with somebody, to create something also is here. That is here. And I feel like there's big changes coming in for you. So really have patience for everything, okay? Have patience. There's fresh starts here. Good things are coming in. Even though you're going through this transformation, yes, things are going to change, but they're going to change, start pushing you to the better. So just know that. All right, Virgo. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will definitely see you next time. God bless.